Hi, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me on my 29-day Crafty Organizational Challenge. This is actually days 22 and 23. I'm a little bit behind in posting videos. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is Jenlee Schoolcraft, and I am posting with the hashtag Crafty ORG Challenge. So basically what it is, if you haven't viewed any of my other videos, is 29 days in February to get my craft room cleaned up and organized. This is part 2 of the shelf area. I did part 1 a few days ago, and so this is just going to be part 2. I'm doing the video a little bit differently. I'm going to show you an item and then show you how I have it organized it. So on the bottom underneath my shelves, I have these 12 by 12 iris cases that have a Valentine's. I have it divided up between Valentine's, Christmas, Halloween, and birthday. So I have embellishments and everything for that specific holiday. The only thing I don't really keep in these is like 6 by 6 paper or 12 by 12 paper. And then in one of the 12 by 12 cases, I have all these border strips, which I'm assuming is for scrapbooking. They're just so pretty, and I've tried to get rid of them, and I haven't been able to, and I still didn't get rid of any this time, so that will go right back underneath the shelf. And then this is on the bottom shelf, and this is how I used to store all of my foil stuff. I don't have a ton of foils because really I don't use it that much. But when that foil pen came out and the first thing, the foil quill and then the foil pen, I had to have it for some reason, and I have not used it. I think I used the pen once, but I haven't used it with the machine at all. So that's all in there. So this is the after. I found one of these little kind of like A crates, I guess, little plastic crates. They usually have a bunch of them around the start of school at Walmart. Really inexpensively. And so I found this in my storage supply. And so I've put all of my foil in this little basket. I don't really like the 12 by 12s. I think I buy them because they're on sale. But I have 3 of the big rolls and then several small rolls. And then the rest of my foiling supplies are in this magazine holder type thing for 12 by 12 paper. And so I have my little foil quill magnet board that you use with the machine, and then I have a bunch of little Heidi Swap Minc stuff, and then in this little pocket I have all of my foil quill stuff, my pens and the little adapters and everything you need to use the foil quill. And this is just in a little, it's supposed to be in a binder. It's a 3-ring binder. It's a little plastic pouch, and it has a zipper on the top, and so that has all of those items. And then I have another one of those that has all of my foil quill foil, because as I understand it, it's different than a heat foil. No, it's different than a toner foil. See, I don't even know. I don't even know the difference. I just know you can take foil and glue, and it works like that. And then in another little plastic pocket, I have all of the Heidi Swap, the Minc things where you have like the journaling cards and stuff like that, where you can use that with the foil. So I'm showing the bottom again. I don't know why. And then I think I'm showing how I cleaned it up. So these are all my punches. This is what I've gotten it down to, and I haven't, like I've mentioned in my videos, I go through my stuff pretty much every 6 months. And so my punches are pretty much down to what I want to keep. And then here's my foiling stuff that I just went through. The box next to that, my foiling stuff, is this pink box, which I will show you. And then there's several tools which I don't use, but I want to try them before I go ahead and get rid of them. So here's this pink box. This was originally a card box, and it had like little dividers in it that I got it from a garage sale, and I've used it in several different ways throughout the years, but right now it stores my tags. And it's pretty much a bunch of tags just thrown in there, and these are the blank tags. if you remember, I had a previous video where I showed all the printed tags that I had that were in a drawer, but these are all blank tags. So what I've done to organize it is I've taken it and just kind of cleaned it up a little bit, put the tags by size, and then banded them with rubber bands. And then on this side is pretty much just left messy because all of these little tags are attached to each other. And so I just went ahead and left them there. And so the next shelf I'm going to show is what it is about. It's the third shelf up from the floor. And I don't do much with this. I've organized in some previous videos some of the items already on this shelf, but this end of the shelf I went and reorganized probably about 2 or 3 months ago. So before I started this 29-day challenge, I had organized it. And if you'll remember me saying, I do fairly often go through my stuff and destash and just try and get rid of stuff. So this right here is one of those Harbor Freight little carousel things. I used to have this on my main craft desk, and it finally broke one day. It works with these three, so it's supposed to have 3 tiers, and it was always it would always get loose, and so I'd have to screw the little knobby at the top, and it finally broke one day, so I had to take the top tier off. But I don't want to get rid of it because it stores a lot. It's super functional, and I love the way it looks. So I keep it. So right now I'm storing my watercolor tubes and just a bunch of miscellaneous things on and that's my gouache right there. And then on the top shelf, I have a little bit more bottled watercolors and India inks and things like that. And unfortunately, I don't think Harbor Freight sells this anymore. I've looked and looked. When mine started kind of being dysfunctional, I looked at Harbor Freight and I couldn't find it. The closest I found to something like this at this size was on Amazon, and it was like $60. And considering the one at Harbor Freight was under 20, there's no way I would pay that much for one. So I keep it. I love it. And that's where it will stay unless it falls apart some more. So moving on to some of the other little bins that are on this shelf. These are from Harbor Freight as well. They're between $2 and $3 a piece. Harbor Freight has a ton of stuff that is so useful for the craft room. So if you haven't been there, I would totally check it out. It's awesome. In this little bin, I am storing all of my watercolors that are in pans. So those are my pan watercolors. And then here I have my oil pastels and my Neo colors, which I need to make use of, which I don't. That was a Vicky P purchase. Vicky P used them, and I love her. And so I had to buy that. In this little tin are my gelatos, which I don't use often, but I keep because I would like to use them. And then some other different soft crayon type things. This is the little container that holds my brayer and just stencil tools. And then this is for kind of mixed media and stencil tools as well. And then over next to that are these 2 cases. These are my finger daubers. One I use for all inks except for oxides. So oxides I had separate just because the consistency of the ink is so much different than the others, but the others I share among colors. Here are the bins that I showed in a previous video for organizing my sequins. I purchased 3 when I had purchased these, and I do end up putting stuff in this, at least 2 of the drawers, but I have it sitting there empty for this portion. And then right here are the IKEA little containers. I think it's a towel rack or something like that on the wall from IKEA. And then these little white containers hold my glitter pens, my paintbrushes, just different pencils, my clean color brush markers, and then some straws and some pipettes, and then some other glitter markers and some paint pens are hanging on one of those little Harbor Freight bins. And if you have a way to organize this with those little IKEA things, they're super inexpensive and a great way to organize pins and things like that. So here is the next shelf up. So this is the fourth shelf. This is the one I'm going to be doing next. So I will show that in the video. So these are, I first showed my some markers, and then these are how I store my daubers, and then my stickles. And then next to that, I have all of my alcohol inks on another one of those kind of stadium things for, it's actually a nail polish holder, and all of my alcohol inks fit on this. And I don't have room for much anymore, so I won't be buying anymore. I think I'm happy with the amount of alcohol inks I have in the color range. And so I know they have some new ones out now, but I'm not buying them. So here is how I have my markers stored. These are Spectrum Noir glitter markers. And one of them is leaking, and I couldn't figure out which one it was, and so they're all in that. And then these are my Spectrum Noir water pens, basically. They're the aqua markers. And then underneath that, I have my Close to My Heart markers. I bought these at a yard sale, which is a lot of the stuff, my older stuff I've bought at yard sales. But they still work. These have got to be, who knows how old these are, but I used them recently and they still work. So they are awesome, and I keep them because they're water-based markers. And then this is how I store my Tombos. I actually got this little container from Michael's. It's super cool. It has a little top that you can take off, and then the marker case expands. So it opens up so you can kind of open it up and see all of your colors at once. And then when you're done, you just fold it back up and put the top on. I actually got this from Michael's, and it was either on sale or I had a 60% off coupon. I think that's probably the best way to buy this. You're not going to find it cheaper than doing that. And you can also probably use it for other markers that are that size. I think it's a super cool container because I can just grab it and set it on my desk, and I can see all of the colors, and it's super convenient. So that is a great way to store your Tombos. So here are the rest of the markers on the shelf. I really want to find a book or something that I could put these watercolor markers from Jenlee Crafts in. These are my distress markers, which I don't use. And then I just wanted to show you, I'm pretty sure that I've already gone over this, but I kind of wanted to show you how I organize my stickles. And I organize it by writing on the end of the bottle the number that corresponds with the number that is in my swatch book. These are the half-ounce containers from scrapbook.com. I love these like no other. Like, I think this is one of the best ways to store stickles. I have my Nuvo drops right side up. I don't know if they're supposed to be upside down like stickles, but I really love these because they store a lot. They don't take up a lot of room, and they're clear so you can see through them. So I have mine, like I said, numbered on the bottom. So each case I've just made a label that says 1 through 10, and like this one is 11 through 22. It corresponds with the swatch in my swatch book. And then I just have them sitting on the shelf, and yeah, I just love these. I think that's one of the best ways, like I said, ever to store. I used to have the art bin, little plastic things to store them, but it just, I don't know. And so I got this one. This is a 1 ounce one. It holds the bigger bottles of stickles. And then I wanted to show, I think I showed this when I did my my desk tour. This is one of the containers that holds half-ounce bottles. And I have this sitting right in front of me, and it holds my blending brushes and some scissors that I use often. And I just love using it for that. All I've done is taken the top and flipped it over so it's underneath. And I had to tape it because it doesn't fit well like that. I mean, it doesn't click shut. So to keep it together, I do have to tape it. But yeah, I really love using that for all of my kind of quick to grab items. And this is another one of the half-ounce containers. And I've done the same thing as I've done with my blending brushes. I've taken the top and flipped it over, and I have stored just some empty dauber tops. And then in the portion where like your bottle of stickles would go, I have my my dauber handles. These are called daubers, right? Oh my gosh. I just had a blank. Um, Anyhow, I have my pigment and my dye inks, and I use this set for all of the pigment and dye inks. And then I have my oxide, just like I have my finger daubers separated, the oxides separated. I have those separated as well. And for me, I've found this to be the best solution for storing these. They're not rolling around somewhere. I don't need one for every single ink pad. That would drive me crazy. I know some people like their stuff organized like that, but that's just not for me. So I really like having one for each kind of color range. And then if I need to change out the top of the dauber, I can go ahead and do that. So here is, I know I've shown this before, but here are my different colors and how I have them swatched in my swatch book. This works for me, so I really like it. So here is kind of the after. I went ahead and I took all those loose ones and put them in a jar, all those loose daubers, and put them in a jar. And then here are where I store my daubers and then my stickles. And then over is my alcohol inks. And so on the shelf above that one, I just have a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. One of them is this box. So this is a cigar box, and I just store little tiny scraps of paper, die cuts, and I do actually reach for this box somewhat often. But I did go through it and I got it down to this little amount right here. A lot of it was just nonsense stuff that I don't know why I was keeping. And then my paper scraps, I have in these little, I think they're coupon books. I've just pulled the sides out and cut the middle portions out of some of them. They're organized by color, but I don't think I've touched these for probably a year. And part of that is because I store my paper scraps differently now. So I end up getting rid of all of these scraps. I don't keep them because I know I'm not going to use them. I have a little box right on my desk where I keep my white and my black paper scraps. But what I do is if I have a paper scrap and it's close to a 6x6 size, I'll cut it down to a 6x6 and put it with my loose 6x6 paper. If I have a 12x12 that only has a little piece missing, I'll put that with my 12x12. And then all the other scraps, they either go in with the paper pads or they are in with the colored, the colored paper that I have in my little plastic folders. And so I don't really need a separate scrap area. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. This top shelf is like a lot of craft items. I don't really go through the green hefty bins because I want to keep all of that. I don't see any reason to get rid of it. A lot of it is like wood pieces and things like that. One of the little bins that was on that shelf had a lot of tissue paper. So this is like packing tissue paper for presents. And so I took it out of that big container and then I was able to fit it in one of these skinny Target containers, not the same one that holds my dies and my stamps, but there is a skinnier one. And so I've gone ahead and I've just put stuff in here that I would decorate with stuff in my craft room, and then the rest of the stuff that's for packaging or putting with presents, I went ahead and I brought it inside and put it in the spare bedroom because that's where I have all of my other, like my wrapping paper and stuff. And so I went ahead and put that with that. I didn't feel like it needed to be in the craft room because I'm not probably going to decorate with it. So I was able to kind of consolidate that a little bit. And then back in the day when I just was buying stuff from eBay, craft supplies, when I first started, like everything came from eBay or like secondhand. This is something that I purchased and I don't know why. I thought I would keep it this time. If I don't use it, the next time I clean out, I'm going to get rid of it. It's a brad maker basically to make your own brads. This little wire basket holds some leftover or some overflow. I didn't realize I had this actually. I thought I was able to fit everything into those little thread containers that I showed you previously, but this has some bigger ribbon and some bigger kind of threads and things like that. And so I just have them stored using pieces of cardboard and plastic baggies. And so those are just all in there. I just love threads and things like that, just pretty colors and different like types and everything. And so that is what is in this basket. I didn't get rid of anything from this basket. It just went right back up on the shelf. And then next, this is kind of like my when I was working, I was one of those people at work that for every holiday I would make like a little treat container or something like that to pass out to everybody. And so that's what some of this stuff is. It's just like little containers and things like that that you can make and put candies in or some little treats. And so, yeah, so I did go ahead and clean this out. This was overflowing a little bit. I got rid of some of these little paper containers. And then I bought these little coffee cups with lids because I was going to do something for Christmas, and then that didn't happen. And so those are theirs. But if you're interested in buying those little coffee cups with the lids, they're really cute to decorate and stuff like that. Get them from Amazon. They're super cheap. And so I had some baking cups that I just went and brought inside the house. And then, so this is the final complete shelf. I just took this video today of everything all organized pretty much. There's a few things that are sitting there that shouldn't be. But this is my whole shelving unit. I don't know what I would do without it. It is, if you have the wall space, a shelving unit or something like that is a super great a way to store. And I believe this unit with the shelves and the brackets and everything was probably about $150, which I think that's a pretty good deal for all that it stores. So into the giveaway items. These are all the giveaway items that will be included in the week 4 giveaway. And so the first thing are these little paper cups. Like, these are super cute. These would be cute for Easter to put a little handle on, or maybe put a little bunny tail or like a bunny thing and put jelly beans in. And then these are from the dollar store. They're just little cups that are like Halloween themed. And then I have these little candy cups. Don't know why. I have some little candy cups. Those will be in the giveaway. And as always, if there are items that you are not interested in that are included in the giveaway and you are the giveaway winner, just let me know and I will take those out. Also part of the giveaway for week 4 are these distress markers. I don't use them, and unfortunately there are some that are dried out. I don't know if there's something you can do to revive them, because quite honestly, I haven't used these hardly at all. I swatched them and I got them out maybe a few times, but for the most part, these are not something that I use. I usually reach for my zigs or my watercolor markers or my Tombos, and so I just don't see any reason for me to go ahead and keep these distress markers. I'm not really sure how many colors there are. I did not go ahead and make sure all of them worked. So if they don't work, you can toss them, or if you know a way to revive them, because like I said, I don't know if the ink's dried up inside of the tube for the one that I tested, that first one, or I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in that though. Maybe I'm storing them wrong. I don't know. I was a little disappointed though, because I haven't had that problems with any of my other markers. And so, yeah. And these aren't cheap, so those are in the giveaway. These Minc items are in the giveaway as well. So these are the like journaling cards and things like that that have the black reactive toner. That's what it is. And so you would just take your foil and run it through your laminator or your Minc, and with a piece of the foil, and it will go on that. I have 2 of these butterfly packs, and it's the same thing. It has the toner on it that you would just take your foil and place on top and run that through your heat laminator. And so that is going to be in the giveaway. And then I have several of the 12 by 12 rolls. I hate these rolls. I hate that little stupid sticker that's on them that with no fail, it rips every time. So plus I don't have, I have the mini Minc. I don't have the full size. And though I do have a laminator, I don't know that it is a big enough laminator to fit like a whole 12 by 12 sheet. And so those 3 rolls are going to go in the stash. These are some items that I grabbed out of those 12 by 12 iris bins. So there are some Christmas items, some chipboards, some metal accents, some enamel dots here, and then just different holidays. So here are some Halloween stickers, and then some Halloween clothespins. And these are, it says they're curling tags. I have no idea what those are. And then there's some metal accents and some ribbon and buttons. And this looks like some ephemera or something like it's called bits and pieces actually. And then there's some Valentine's items, some stickers, Jenlee stickers. And then there's also some metal pieces. And then more stickers. And then last, I have some blank tags that I will be throwing in the D-stash as well. And that's it for this, I believe it's the 22nd and 23rd days. And I'm a little behind on posting videos, so I will have the 24th and the 25th video up either tomorrow or Thursday. I'm in the last couple of days of the month and the last couple of days of the challenge. So I am super excited. I can't tell you how excited I am that it is almost done. And my craft room just is kind of nice walking in there now. So to be entered into the D-Stash giveaway for week 3, it's the same as previous weeks. Follow this channel, leave a comment below. Follow me on Instagram at Jenlee Schoolcraft. All the details of the giveaway can be found in the Google Doc link below. And as always, I love reading your comments and reading your feedback and suggestions. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked this video. If you did like it or find it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.